Good Tuesday evening, everyone, and welcome to this edition of WPBS Weekly Inside the Stories. I'm Jolene DeRosier. If you're an active individual, then you've seen plenty of bikers riding along nearby trails or roadways. Maybe you're one of them. If so, are you maximizing your bike to the fullest while practicing bike rider safety? Producer Eric Cleary shares tips for bike riders of all levels.
Every summer, thousands of cyclists hit the roads and trails in the U.S. and Canada. Sharing the roads and pathways with vehicles, other cyclists, and pedestrians can be a tricky balancing act. So what can cyclists do to prepare their bikes to stay safe while riding this summer? The first thing Todd Landry of Bush Taka recommends is a good bike cleaning and tuning at your local bike shop before bike season begins.
Clean the frame, clean the drivetrain, so that includes your chain, your gears, and so on. That's a great starting point. You want to make sure that all the important components, so your gearing, your brakes, they're all in good working order. Do a bolt check. Check to make sure that your handlebars aren't moving, when they shouldn't be moving.
Landry stresses the importance of prevention and protection while out on the trails. For protection, he recommends helmets, gloves, and sunglasses to protect your eyes. For prevention, it's all about remaining visible with bright-colored clothing and lights.
If I was looking at prevention, I'd be looking at things such as lighting, so daytime running lights that have a really good flash, a flashing pattern. And this is one that we've got here, and I'm gonna turn it on just so you can kind of see what the flash pattern is. So it's kind of a 1-2, it's just something highly visible. And then I guess one of the last things I would say is, and it's a simple thing, but a bell, right? Have a bell. It alerts people in front of you, whether it's a rider, whether it's a pedestrian, that you're coming up behind them.
These sights and sounds are what keeps cyclists like Declan the Monaco safe on the roadways when he sets out.
You know, I've had some good experiences, some bad too. There's some roads that are safer than others, but fortunately there are bike paths that can take you to all these different routes, like the one down by the canal. There's also one that goes through the experimental farm, which I find is cool.
Monaco has been riding for 12 years, and he practices what so many cyclists don't to keep himself and those around him safe.
Rules of the road for cyclists, one of my favorite topics. So the biggest one, ride with traffic, all right? You are considered a vehicle on the road. So you need to ride with traffic. You need to obey the street signs. If there's a stop sign, come to a stop. If there's a red light, come to a stop. The other thing is sidewalks. Sidewalks should really only be used by children, and that's usually in that 12 and under group. They're called sidewalks for a reason, and they are mainly meant for the pedestrians out there. So sharing the road with vehicles is super important, and it's a huge part of bicycle safety. So some of the tips that I would say, ride in single file. I mean, don't be riding 3 across. It's going to annoy motorists. B, it's just not safe, quite frankly. So ride in single file. Don't make any sudden turns or movements, something that, it's hard for a motorist to anticipate, right? You want to be very steady and keep that line that you're going in. If you need to stop, get off to a safe place. Don't pull over just on the side of the road. Move over, as far over as you can, and those kinds of things. And then signals, hand signals, let motorists know your intentions. If you're turning right, let them know you're turning right. If you're coming to a stop, those kind of things.
For riders like Monaco, bike safety, protection, and prevention has made the experience enjoyable and rewarding, bringing him self-sufficiency as he goes about his day.
I normally go 40 kilometers a week, I would say. But I get the exercise, I get the fresh air. I find one good thing about biking is the sort of like the independence. Everything is sort of like all to myself, and I don't have to adapt to anything.
I'd say the only thing that I would leave you with is, when you're on a bike, be aware. Be aware of your surroundings. Be aware of everything that's going on. Yes, you can be out and enjoying your bike ride, and you might zone out a little bit. I know I certainly zone out a little bit, but I'm always trying to stay aware of my surroundings Because again, things can happen really fast on a bike. So you've got to know what's going on around you and be prepared for any of those things. And to me, that's, there's that old saying, and I think they use it in all kinds of sports, have your head on a swivel. I think that applies to when you're riding a bike. You want to make sure that you see everything around you, and just really be aware, because again, things can go wrong awfully quickly on a bike.
For WPBS Weekly, I'm Eric Cleary.